What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your third stimulus check update. We have some really great news from a very important person from the Democratic team, as well as a briefing with a lot of information on the third stimulus check package and the third stimulus check directly from the White House. This is a video you're not going to want to miss. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on updates on the third stimulus check package and subsequent packages after that, as President Biden has already announced a fourth stimulus package, that will be coming after this third stimulus check package, as well as I teach you guys how to claim mortgage and rental assistance, as well as other things like student loan forgiveness, Social Security increases, and the other buckets of money you can get from these stimulus packages. Also, give this video a like. It really helps out our channel. All right, let's go jump over to the White House Press Secretary, Jen Psaki, who just gave a briefing on the third stimulus check package.
As you also know, last night the president had a meeting with 10 Republican senators. He's meeting right now with the Senate Democratic Caucus over video to further discuss the American Rescue Plan, and we'll have a readout on that later this afternoon that we will send out. Last night during the meeting, he welcomed the opportunity to have a constructive exchange of ideas over how we can improve the American Rescue Plan. He pledged that he would bring people together when he ran for president, and last night was an example of doing exactly that. A new poll yesterday by Yahoo and YouGov showed that this plan has already garnered bipartisan support among the American people. He also reiterated, or we would like to reiterate, I should say, the urgency of acting quickly on the package. You all asked yesterday about the CBO reports, a new analysis that came out by the CBO, that without action, and that report showed also that without action, our economy won't reach pre-pandemic levels until 2025. That's too long, so our goal with moving this package forward is making it faster. I have a couple of additional readouts, or follow-ups, I should say, from some questions that have been asked in here over the last several days. Somebody asked earlier, I think it was last week, about Puerto Rico. Today, there's an update I have. The administration is releasing $1.3 billion in aid allocated by Congress to Puerto Rico that can be deployed to protect against future climate disasters. In partnership with the Puerto Rico Department of Housing, the administration is also working to remove onerous restrictions put in place by the last administration on nearly $5 billion in additional funds. Someone also asked yesterday about how President Biden keeps in touch. There's a number of ways, but he receives correspondence letters in his briefing book every night, as past presidents have done. He also regularly connects with Americans on the phone. We've put out some videos of that, and we'll continue to do that moving forward. And as you also know, he attends he has a routine of attending, typical routine, I should say, of attending public mass every weekend, which is something he did as president-elect and something he will do, clearly respecting COVID protocols moving forward.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jen. Two questions. Congressional Democrats are moving forward with COVID relief, with legislation set to hit the House Budget Committee by February 16th. What kind of timeline does that create for you with regard to talks with Republicans?
Well, as many of you who have covered Capitol Hill know, there is a process. The budget reconciliation process is a lengthy one. And because I suspected that people would want to talk about the meeting last night today, I just wanted to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about that process and where we see there being opportunity. So first, as you know, once a budget, well, maybe as you know, but a lot of people watching do not know, that once a budget resolution is passed, the House and Senate negotiators will work to develop a reconciliation bill that can pass through the House and Senate. At several points in this process, as we look to the weeks ahead, Republicans can engage and see their ideas adopted. At any point in the process, a bipartisan bill can pass on the floor. So just creating the option for reconciliation with a budget resolution does not foreclose other legislative options. This is my when a bill becomes a law moment of the briefing today.
So basically, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki is saying that they're moving forward right now with the reconciliation process of passing the third stimulus check bill. You know, that's when they use this little guy. they use that to basically they're kind of setting it up. So they're working on the bill right now, and both House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have adopted the new articles that are basically they're preparing right now to pass this bill with the reconciliation card. As Jen Psaki said, at any given time, they could pass this bill without the reconciliation. But as we know, the Democrats can do that in the House on their own. But to pass it without reconciliation, they need 10 votes from Republican senators in the Senate. So 50 Democrats, 10 Republican senators. I got some very important news. I'm going to talk to you guys about that after the press conference. But they're moving forward right now with the articles for the budget reconciliation process, where you use the reconciliation card to pass the bill. So basically, they're expecting that they're going to pass this $1.9 trillion bill without Republican support, and they're going to do it through the reconciliation process, which is what they're doing right now.
And Republican ideas can be adopted during the reconciliation negotiations, and is likely that several bipartisan ideas may be, or we are certainly hopeful of that. And third, Republicans have the ability to offer amendments both during the budget resolution and instruction phase of the process, and then later during the reconciliation phase, and in that way can ensure their ideas are heard. And I did all of that because I think it's important. There's been some misunderstanding about how this process works, and I think there was some view that the final vote was this week. You all know that's not the case. There is some time. That's why the president is engaging, why he did with Republicans last night, Democrats today, and why he's conveyed that he would like to continue doing that in the days ahead.
Go ahead. On the relief bill, Democrats are obviously moving ahead with this process. You all are still hopeful that you can get bipartisan support, but you've also made it clear that you're not going to slim down this bill significantly. So where right now is the greatest potential for compromise to try and achieve that bipartisanship?
Well, you're right, Mary, that I think, and this was evident in the discussion last night. It was, as we said in our readout, and I think as Senator Collins also said, it was civil, it was constructive. This is how democracy should work. We should be engaging. Democrats and Republicans should be engaging with each other, but there certainly is a gap between where we are and where the Republican proposal that was discussed last night was. There are some, bottom lines, I think, the president has, which he has conveyed in the meeting last night and reiterated to us this morning, which is, to put it simply or accessibly for people, he believes a married couple, let's say they're in Scranton, just for the sake of argument. One is working as a nurse, the other is a teacher making $120,000 a year, should get a check. That's in his plan. In the plan presented by Republicans, they would not get a check. And his view is that at this point in our country, when 1 in 7 American families don't have enough food to eat, we need to make sure people get the relief they need and are not left behind. As was also a part of our readout last night, there was a discussion, there's some technical follow-up where there's opportunity to discuss issues like small business, issues like COVID relief. I'm not suggesting a reduction, I'm suggesting how to do it effectively.
So basically what it looks like there is the Joe Biden administration is moving forward with at least the higher income limits. So at least $75,000, it looks like. The question is, will they phase out the third stimulus check at, say, $99,000? Will that be a complete cutoff for a single individual and double that for a couple? So it does look like, at least based on what she just said there, that they will not adopt the Republican income limits. They're going to stick with probably $75,000, which means you get a full check up to $75,000. After $75,000, the previous rules were your check would be reduced by $50 for every $1,000 you make over $75,000 for a individual. Double that for a couple. So that kind of gives us a good idea of what the third stimulus check will be reducing wise. Remember, we're expecting it to be $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for children, and $1,400 for adult dependents this time around. That makes it a $2,000 plus up bill. The $600 that we got from the second one, this is turning that and completing that into a $2,000. So $600 plus the $1,400 equals what they call a $2,000 plus up bill. There's also, we don't know the details on this yet, but the adult dependents and college student dependents are expected to get the third stimulus check at $1,400. But there's also a possibility, and we don't know the details on this yet, of if they will get the first and second stimulus check. The reason is because, again, it's supposed to be a $2,000 plus up bill. So if adult dependents and college student dependents, you're a dependent on somebody's tax return, you didn't get the first and second stimulus check. So if you're going to get the third stimulus check and it's a plus up $2,000 bill, are you going to get the $1,400 and the $600? Will you get the first stimulus check also for a total of $3,200? So the way it looks is that income limits will be $75,000 to start. It'll reduce from there on out. We don't really know if there's going to be a hard cutoff at $99,000 or if it'll just continue to go on based on if you make more than that, it'll just reduce on for $50 for every $1,000 you make, which means you could get a check if you make more if they don't put a hard income cap on the $99,000. If you have multiple children, you could get a check making more than $99,000 for an individual. Again, we don't know the details on that yet, but it looks like they will be starting the income limitations at the $75,000 mark. Let's go back to Jen Psaki.
And those technical discussions at a staff level will be part of what's ongoing over the next couple of days. But the president's bottom line is that this is a package. The risk here, as he has said many times, is not going too big. It is going too small. That continues to be his belief, and that's why he supports the efforts by Senator Schumer, Leader Schumer, and Speaker Pelosi to move this package forward.
Is the $15 minimum wage a must-have for this White House in any final package?
Well, Phil, I should have also brought you up here to just talk about how a bill becomes a law, because I think you know.
I have a 17-part reconciliation instructions question.
Oh, good. I can't wait. Well, I'll tune in for it. You know, Phil, I think there are a lot of points of view, as should not be a surprise to anyone, of different members of Congress. We respect all of them. We're happy to hear them. Hence, the president met with 10 Republican senators last night. But we're not going to negotiate from here or, frankly, in public about what is going to be in and out of the package. We want that to work through the legislative process. That is ongoing now.
And then on the meeting with the Republican senators, you said the word reiterate. I think in the statement last night had the word reiterate 3 separate times. Like, it's very clear where
we like that word. It's a good word. It's a solid word.
But it underscores that your guys' position is firm. Mm-hmm. And so I guess my question is, you're talking about staff talks on technical details. Is that basically the ball game right now in terms of the bipartisan talks? Like, they can tweak things on the technical side. There are pieces if they want amendments. But broadly, this is what it is, and it's moving.
Well, I think the president's commitment is to urgently deliver relief to the American people. And that is what he has conveyed in every meeting he's had or engagement he's had with Democrats and Republicans. And as we just talked about, there's a process that's just in the early stages that's beginning on Capitol Hill to do exactly that. But there are also steps that can be taken or changes that can be made through negotiations that also through the legislative process have to happen between the House and Senate. There are amendments that can be proposed and voted on, and we're going to see that process through or allow that process to go through. As that's happening, the president will continue to be engaged. He'll continue to have more discussions with a variety of members of Congress from both parties to see if there's places to come to consensus and agreement on how to approach some of the issues and challenges the American people are facing.
So basically what she's saying there is at this point, President Biden is not willing to negotiate down from the $1.9 trillion. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes a little bit down on the total price tag. So we will see. But as of right now, she's basically saying they're going to stick firm to around $1.9 trillion, which is honestly really good news because the Republicans want a $600 billion bill, which is less than 1/3 of the stimulus package. She also was briefly asked there about the $15 an hour minimum wage bill. This has the Raise the Wage Act, which you can see right here. I'll give you so you can see the details on this. But this was originally in the third stimulus check package. And then since then, about a few days ago, we had big breaking news on this, that they have now introduced a bill on this in the House and the Senate. So the question of this, because a lot of people are for this, a lot of people are against this, it's a very controversial thing. This will help out a lot of people making more money, but a lot of people also say that it will probably raise the prices of food and gas and McDonald's food and everything across the board because minimum wage would have essentially double over the course of 5 years. So this has a lot of, there's a lot of big news about this. Will this be in the third stimulus check package? That's where it originally was. And since then, they've now introduced a standalone bill in the House and the Senate on this. So it could be voted on separately. That will be a big question mark on if they will pass this in the third stimulus check package or try to, or if they will try to do this through a standalone bill, which again, they could possibly use a reconciliation card on that standalone bill if it falls under those rules for which they can do that. We also have big breaking news just moments ago that Democratic Senator Joe Manchin will support the Democrats' stimulus package with the reconciliation bill. This is very important because he's been kind of back and forth. He's the only Democratic senator that was possibly going to say no to the third stimulus check package because he wants it to be bipartisan. But now Joe Manchin is saying that he will support the Democrats' reconciliation bill, the third stimulus check bill. He will vote along with the Democrats, allowing COVID relief to move forward without the GOP, which is the grand old party, aka the Republican Party. So at this point, it looks like every single Democrat is on board in the Senate, and they will be able to pass this through the reconciliation process with the reconciliation card. Today, Senator Joe Manchin released the following statement on his decision to move forward with the budget resolution. He says, quote, "I will vote to move forward with the budget process because we must address the urgency of COVID-19 crisis. But let me be clear, and these are words I shared with President Biden. Our focus must be targeted on the COVID-19 crisis and Americans who have been most impacted by this pandemic. The president remains hopeful that we can have bipartisan support moving forward. I will only support proposals that will get us through and end the pain of this pandemic. For the sake of this country, we must work together with laser focus to defeat the COVID-19 crisis, support our neighbors and communities who continue to suffer and get back to a more normal life as quickly as possible." So honestly, this is really great news. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin says he will vote with the Democrats. They do have the votes to pass this, which would be 50 Democratic senators. They can pass it in the House with just the Democrats there. And they are actually working on the reconciliation bill right now to pass this third stimulus check package in Congress. So this is actually happening. It's really just a matter of time, how fast they can do that. It could be this week. I really don't know how long it's going to take them, but I will keep you updated on all the breaking news. The good news is we have a $1,400 stimulus check bill, $1,400 for children, which is more than double that we've seen before. Adult dependents are going to get a check. We're going to have more mortgage and rental assistance coming from the third package. We're going to have all the good things that are in this package. Unemployment bonus boost up to $400 per week. I will be giving you more details as it comes out, but we have actually really great news here. We have support from it. We have enough votes to pass it, and they're working on it. They've actually introduced the reconciliation process bill onto the Senate and the House today. I believe it was today or late last night from Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. So it's happening, folks. I will keep you updated. Make sure you're subscribed down below and click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're not missing out on videos because we are going to have a lot of big news coming up in the next few episodes. And share this video with your friends and family so that they know what is going on with the third stimulus check and the other buckets of money. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.